Hi, Professor Torres. I'm Jack McFarland, and I chose to do my final presentation on the New York Times article written in 2015 by David Kaplan. Dennis Kozlowski is the former CEO of Tyco. I particularly like this article because it shows how Kozlowski changed. He's now a married man, and it really shows how he's happily married, and he shows how he overcame his past, where he let money control his life. In a nutshell, Dennis Kozlowski let his money take over as he threw lavish parties and spent money that really wasn't his to spend. Particularly in the story, it was noted that he threw one party that was about a little over $2 million. It was a Roman orgy birthday bash in 2001 for his second wife. It featured guest appearances from Jimmy Buffett on playing guitar and an ice sculpture of the David. He lived so lavishly that he had a $6,000 shower curtain in his New York City apartment, which is very insane. It was thought that he looted over $100 million, which ultimately led him to serving 6.5 years in federal prison. At one point in his career, he was known as Deal-A-Day Dennis, which really shows how respected he was by his employees and everybody throughout the company. He really put the company on the map. He took the company from a small company in New England to a multinational company worth over $120 billion. Throughout the industry, he was known as a ruthless cost cutter, getting down to what really matters. This all led to criminal charges for taking unauthorized bonuses and stealing and abusing corporate loan programs, falsifying records, and conspiracy. He had to pay $167 million in restitution and fines. In the end, though, he did make $300 million in his last 4 years with the company, leaving him to be the highest paid CEO in the U.S. And when he got sentenced, he didn't really think he deserved the punishment, as he said that in 2008 CEOs just did this and they weren't punished for their actions. They weren't really held accountable like he was. In prison, he was able to meet interesting people. He provided them with financial advice, which allowed him to give back. He was able to develop personal, healthy relationship with his wife. And interesting that they noticed her wedding ring only cost $300, which really shows he was brought back down to earth after doing his time in prison. He did not say his financial status now, but he says he's no longer living a fabulously wealthy life, and he takes the subway, so I'd say he's doing well for himself, but he's not living as lavishly. I thought the whole story was very Wolf of Wall Street like, and it kind of shows how maybe punishments like this happen for a reason, so stuff like this doesn't happen anymore. The ethical issues seen. The number one thing that I would say that took over his life was his lack of temperance and fortitude. What primarily took place when he was spending his stolen money on $6,000 shower rods, shower curtains, was his lack of temperance and fortitude. Primarily and also I would say he took from the common good. He lied about where the money was coming from to his employees, which is not what you expect from your CEO. Also, we're left to assume that if he was not sentenced to do time in prison, he would have kept doing what he was doing if no one had intervened. His obsession with money caused him to be disprudent and was more than likely engaging in wrongful acts, although you should not assume this, but when you're throwing $2 million parties, I think things are going to get a little out of hand. Looking over the situation, I'd say that Dennis Kozlowski deserved his punishment. From what he says, he's a changed man. The time he did allow him to figure out who he needed to be and who he is now. He understands that there's more to life than $150 million a year, which would be really nice if you're making that much. But there's more to it. I enjoyed reading about this situation, as it was a nice story. reading about how a man could be so crazy with his money and do that stuff and be able to get back and be happy in the end. The number one thing I learned from this class is how you can't let money ruin your life. Throughout the course, we had several readings on people who really just let money get to their head. They got in situations, whether it was because of an affair that they got involved with, or again, money taking over. Everything was money driven. And we as millennials must avoid this and work hard and keep with our virtues, which is a great thing we're taught at CUA. And on that note, I'm going to conclude my video log. Thanks for a great summer semester, and maybe I'll see you around campus.